You're watching NewsView. And now, from Champaign-Urbana, Illinois, it's NewsView.
Hello and welcome to NewsView, and this is the 5th anniversary birthday of NewsView. This week, NewsView turns 5. And the first story comes from WCIA Television, Channel 3 in Champaign, Illinois. People took a dive into their holiday celebration, Channel 3 says. Swimmers had a cannonball competition at the Sholem Aquatic Center in Champaign. There was a separate contest for children and adults, and Mr. Turtle was the judge. He ranked divers on a scale from 1 to 10. Kids say it was fun to make a big splash and to try out to outdo their friends. Other kids made smaller splashes by just playing in the pools and going down the water slides. Some people took advantage of more relaxing ways to enjoy the holiday, like laying in the sun and taking a trip down Sholem's lazy river. And also the Urbana Aquatic Center is now open. I believe it's $9 for most people around here, if I remember right. And in other news, according to the Times-Dispatch in Richmond, Elizabeth Dolly went to jail over a case of bottled water when the University of Virginia student bought ice cream, cookie dough, and a carton of LaCroix sparkling water from the Harris Teeter grocery store. Half a dozen men and women approached her car, flashing some badges, and one jumped on the hood, and another drew a gun, and others started trying to break the windows. And a panicked Daly drove off when her passenger roommate yelled, "Go, go, go," quote unquote. She drove off hoping to reach the nearest police station, and she dialed 911. Then a vehicle with lights and sirens pulled them over. And it turned out it was the Virginia Department of Alcoholic Beverage Control. They had mistaken her canned water for a 12-pack of beer. And they say the enforcers did not apologize, not in the slightest, and charged Dolly with 3 felonies, 2 for assaulting an officer when she grazed 2 agents driving off. Neither one was hurt, and 1 for eluding the police. But the Commonwealth's attorney last week dropped the charges. The agent's excessive display of force is outrageously disproportionate to the offense they mistakenly thought they'd witnessed, an underage purchase of alcohol. But in a sense, Dolly got off easy. A couple of weeks after her ordeal, a 61-year-old man in Tennessee was killed when the police executed a drug raid on the wrong house. A few weeks later, another wrong house raid occurred and police officers killed a dog belonging to an Army veteran. These are not isolated incidents, and you can see a map at www.cato.org/raidmap. And there's more of this story. In May, a Texas woman was arrested for asking to see a warrant for the arrest of her 11-year-old son. And then she spent a night in jail where her son was left at home. That's a quote from Fox 34 News. The son never was arrested, and it goes on and on. Apparently, there have been lots of incidents like that across the country lately. And in New Mexico, they got over a foot of hail in a town in Santa Rosa, New Mexico, July 3rd this year. A lone thunderstorm dumped over a foot of hail on the town of Santa Rosa, New Mexico, Wednesday evening, like it says the Weather Channel. And that left a surreal sight the day before the 4th of July there. Photos from the Santa Rosa Fire Department showed snowplows clearing city streets clogged with accumulated hail drifts. According to the National Weather Service in Albuquerque, hail got up to golf ball size, pelted the city around 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Skylights were damaged and a roof was partially collapsed in the city of approximately 2,800 residents, about 105 miles east of Albuquerque, according to a report from the Albuquerque Journal. And they're saying, as bizarre as this sounds, accumulating hail is not uncommon in the high plains. Northeast New Mexico sits in what meteorologists call Hail Alley, a swath from southeast Wyoming and northeast Colorado to northeast New Mexico and the Texas Panhandle, where large hail follows on average at least 3 days a year. A common late spring and early summer occurrence is accumulating hail, sometimes to the magnitude of a couple of inches in northeast Colorado, often including the Denver metro. And in the Middle East, Morsi loyalists, according to the New York Times, have clashed with soldiers in Cairo protests. Islamist supporters of Mohamed Morsi, Egypt's ousted president, held enormous demonstrations Friday, and thousands of them angrily confronted security forces guarding the compound where he was believed to be held. Witnesses said at least 5 demonstrators were killed by gunfire. Many others were wounded in the confrontation, but the precise casualty toll was unclear. Reporters heard multiple volleys of gunshots and saw blood on the streets and demonstrators nursing what appeared to be birdshot wounds. We will return with more News View after this break. Okay. Welcome back to News View. Now more news and then weather on News View. According to CBS News, Michelle Costello, reading and writing might help preserve memory in older age. Being a bookworm, jotting down your thoughts and completing other tasks that keep your brain active may help you stay sharp in your later years. A study published on July 3rd in Neurology revealed that reading, writing, and doing other mentally stimulating activities at every age helped stave off memory problems. Quote, our study suggests that exercising your brain by taking part in activities such as 3 across a person's lifetime these across a person's lifetime, from childhood through old age, is important for brain health in old age. Unquote. Study author Robert S. Wilson, senior neurophysiologist of the Rush Alzheimer's Disease Center at the Rush University Medical Center in Chicago, said in a press release. Researchers gave 294 older people memory and thinking tests over an average of about 6 years. The subjects were also asked if they read books, wrote, or did any similar activities when they were a child, through adolescence, in middle age, and at their current age. After the subjects died, their brains were examined for lesions, brain plaque, and tangles, which are physical signs of dementia. Dementia is a loss of brain function that affects memory, thinking, language, judgment, and behavior. The most common form of dementia is Alzheimer's disease, which is the 6th leading cause of death in the U.S. Those that reported doing mentally stimulating activities throughout their lives had a slower rate of memory decline compared to people who did not do these tasks. Taking the physical signs of dementia out of the equation, those that kept themselves mentally busy had a 15% slower rate of mental and thinking decline compared to those that did not. Furthermore, those that reported the most reading and writing later in life were able to slow their memory decline by 32% compared to people with average mental activity. Those that reported the lowest mental stimulation in their later years had a 48% faster memory decline compared to the average. And Wilson says, quote, based on this, we shouldn't underestimate the effects of everyday activities such as reading and writing on our children, ourselves, and our parents or grandparents, unquote. Dr. Simon Ridley, head of research at Alzheimer Research UK, told the BBC previous research also showed mental stimulation slowed memory and cognitive decline. However, scientists still don't know how these activities do help. And next, Champaign police are going to mark the 100th anniversary of the death of an officer who died trying to arrest a bootlegger in 1913. The department's then chief, A.U. Al Kever, was also injured in that killing at the shootout July 6, 1913, 100 years ago. After the memorial service, the department is going to give a processional of retired officers and lay a wreath at Dodsworth Grave in Woodlawn Cemetery because Thomas Dodsworth was killed during the shootout trying to go after a bootlegger in 1913. And in other news, according to WEEK TV 25 in Peoria, Willie Jackson, grandmother of Santa Barber, says, thank you very much, quote unquote. It was a day of gratitude as the family of a 10-year-old Sonia Barber gathered at the annual Independence Day celebration to thank the man they say helped save their loved one. Quote, I just want to say thank you for saving my life, unquote, said 10-year-old Siona Barber as she presented Terry Burnside Sr. with a trophy. You're welcome, quote unquote, replied Burnside. Last Friday, Burnside and his son were working on a nearby house when they heard the screams. Together they were able to get the dog off of her. Quote, I'm happy that they were working on the house because I could have probably been dead if they didn't, unquote, said Siona. Siona spent a day in the hospital receiving treatment for injuries, including a gash in her forehead. It's just so exciting to see, quote unquote, said Burnside. The last position I saw her in was a fetal position attacked by a dog, so to see her the way she is now, definitely a good thing, he said, unquote. The family said the trophy was donated by First Place Trophies in Peoria. In addition, everyone chipped in what they could to help honor the man they say saved their loved one. Quote, all the family involved, everyone here contributing to that because it is a blessing she is here, unquote, said Siona's grandmother, Jeanette Jackson. As for Siona, she seems unscathed by the whole experience, not even admitting to bravery. Wouldn't say that I'm brave, said Siona, a little scary. Burnside said the incident still plays through his head daily and said that he was just in the right place at the right time. Just instinct, said Burnside. Seeing a little girl desperate in need of help, I would have done it for anybody. And Illinois hospitals are offering patients video interpreters, according to the Peoria Journal-Star and the Associated Press and Dateline Urbana, Illinois. A new video technology offering patients help from language interpreters via smartphone or tablet is being adopted at a growing number of hospitals in central Illinois, as proponents point to advantages on top of making the processes more personal. And they say that the Presence hospitals are using a service called Language U through Language Line Solutions. And in Urbana, also, the Carle Foundation Hospital and Carle Physician Group are also offering video interpretation. And stay tuned for weather right after this on NewsView. And here's your Champaign, Urbana, Central Illinois area weather for Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday, July 5th, 6th, and 7th, 2013. Tonight, low 65 degrees with a chance of thunderstorm. Saturday, high 81 degrees with a chance of thunderstorms. Saturday night, mostly cloudy with a low of 65. And Sunday, mostly sunny, a high temperature of 87 degrees. And Sunday night, partly cloudy with a low of 70 degrees Fahrenheit. And tune in next week for more News View, and starting Monday, The Michael Show on WRFU 104.5 FM will be on Monday evenings from 5 to 7, and still Tuesday nights at 8 till 9. I'm Michael Badger. Have a great night. Okay.